Hi everybody, welcome to ComicPop. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
We saw Infinity War like you did and everyone else in God's creation. And so we're going to jump into it and talk a little bit about our thoughts and review this movie if that's possible. For those of you who have not seen the movie, if that's possible,
Save this for later.
we're going to talk a little bit about the movie with no spoilers, and then we'll let you know when you should add us to the watch later
Yeah,
list.
don't leave yet.
So
Stay here.
let's jump into it. Initial thoughts about Infinity War, no spoilers. I'll start. I think it was worth the hype. They put a real emphasis on the fact that like this is 10 years in the making, and the movie pays homage to that in its own narrative structure, while also within its own cosmetic foundation, from the Marvel Studios logo and the I-O in studio becoming a 10, and it being like, this is it. We're bringing everything like to the table. Sorry, Thanos. We're bringing everything to the forefront, everything to the table that we built towards over the last 10 years. Here it is. Hope it measures up, and it does. It delivers. That's my thought.
Yeah, I agree. It's somehow like it's like impossible seeming that it could. I was so nervous,
Yeah.
that it wouldn't feel like it lived up to the hype, and it totally did. It's a monumental achievement, I would say. I don't know how they did it, because you don't. Like every other movie that like brings so many characters, you feel like someone gets shortchanged or someone's character's not explored, and they find a way to like get everybody in
Who appears in the movie.
Yeah, and introduce the
New
new characters and sufficiently,
Yeah.
at least to my view, make them interesting and compelling enough to justify their existence.
Right. The movie runs, it's 2 hours and 36 minutes long. You can't have everybody get an origin story if you're introducing 4 new characters, if not more. I'm glad they didn't, and I'm glad they chose the characters they did. We will... This isn't spoilers that the Black Order is in the movie as Thanos' children. Those characters don't get origin stories, nor do they require them, and I think it was actually great that they chose those characters because there is such little character depth for them.
And yet at the same time, the characters themselves are so unique. You see them and you understand what they're about,
Yes.
and it works.
Right, like Corvus Glaive doesn't say a lot in this movie, but he's so distinct looking and has this real like direction about him, and his connection to another character is established through dialogue that you're like, okay, fine. Also, I don't care about like what Corvus Glaive's journey is going to be.
No.
So fine, but like Ebony Maw, hey, he has lines, he has mannerisms. I get his character.
Yeah, you get him instantly. You know, what he's about.
Right, what he's all about, where he's going, and yeah. So we don't need to like find out what planet he comes from and who he loves, who he's lost, where he's going. It just so that manages to work even without like the conventions of like, oh well, if we're introducing a new villain, we have to show all this stuff. No, they know what villain we're here for, and they give him his due.
Yeah.
So many people that I've seen in so many different movies all had their own moment, and they were great.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible to pull off in one movie and have it be cohesive. I thought it would be jumbled. It's not. It tells a great story, and when it moves from plotline to plotline to tie everything together, it does it in a really good way.
Yeah, just when you think like, okay, we spent enough time focusing on these characters doing the story, they immediately jump to the next one. And so it manages to juggle all those characters and all those plots. Thankfully, because all the plots are unified by the fact that they're all going towards the same goal. They don't muddy the waters by being like, no, we're going to do this. Okay, so there's a giant blue laser in the sky, you got to take out the blue laser. But there's also like infantry guys on the ground, you got to take out those guys. No, like it's all in pursuit of one goal. And it's just that goal has multiple facets, and those characters all address those facets without getting, bogged down in their own, minutia and character.
And without like them having to narrate everything.
Yeah, no, the exposition is carried out through character interactions and story, as opposed to like monologuing.
Yeah.
Or text.
Much like everybody else, I was worried about this movie, but what I was really afraid of was that they'd be so worried about juggling the characters and giving them cool moments that the movie would suffer overall.
It would be nonstop cool moments.
It would lack like depth, and so like I was like, when we left the theater, I remember just being like super excited, and like I had like this adrenaline rush from actually having seen the film, which is like for me always a good sign. But then I was like, But I can't judge it from right now because the fact is, like, when I get up tomorrow, what if I don't feel the same way? Because the adrenaline rush will be gone. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like I just saw it now, even, like, at this moment, now that we've seen it, like, 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Still fresh.
it's still fresh.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with, like, the cool moments or the action sequences or the funny dialogue or whatever. Like, overall, it was just so well handled that, like, yeah, no, all the feelings I had were absolutely correct.
I think the thing that most impressed me, I just had this thought, was that, in thinking back over the movie, there wasn't like a single joke that didn't land. There wasn't a single thing that was annoying. There wasn't a single thing where I was like, oh, I could get rid of that. Like, everything in the movie, to me, was like, it was good that it was there, it had value, and was, in some ways, necessary to make the movie work. There was nothing that I felt was superfluous, which is like, I don't remember the last time I saw a movie.
Right?
Particularly one that's almost 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And nothing took you out of the film either.
Right.
That was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
The only moments that took me out of the movie were moments where I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah. That was, you took yourself out.
I took myself out. I had to take a break from
Yeah.
having such a good time watching the movie to be like, okay,
Keep it together.
Keep it together. You gotta finish this movie, man.
Right. And I think it's just good to remember, or to remind folk who haven't seen it yet, that don't forget, like, there's a huge ensemble cast, and maybe some of your favorite characters won't have, like, all the spotlight, but they're there, and, like, you
and
gotta
they do something.
Right, and, like, the fact is, at the end of the day, like, there is a certain number of characters who really started this all, and, like, this is their culmination.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, if you really like, if your favorite character is like a secondary character in one of the other movies, yeah, you might feel like your character got
I guess we
shortchanged.
could say, like, if your favorite character is Pepper Potts, you are going to be disappointed. But even she has some lines and some character depth and motivation, and you could tell that, like, there is setup and something will pay off in the next one.
Yes.
With her.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would say is this movie builds heavily upon the continuity that they've built throughout the other movies.
Yeah.
So if you were selective about seeing some of the the Marvel films and you skipped a specific genre or one of the movies in between, like something somewhere, I'd say take the time, go back and watch all the films just so you have that knowledge going into this. I think it'll help.
That's funny. I literally told a coworker today she could just go see it.
Well,
because she's only seen 2 Marvel films.
Oh,
it kind of depends
and
on the
person. And I was
person.
like, I think you'll piece it together, like legitimately.
2 movies literally get explained between dialogue for 2 different characters from their respective franchises. They literally sum up each of their own movies at each other in the span of maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for me, like it depends on the individual. Like, if you're really into this, you know, then I'd say go back and get, because you want to get all the references and all that stuff.
You've seen most of them already.
But if you're just like, you want to see it because that's what the whole world is doing right now, and like maybe you're dipping your toe into the waters of, like, you know, of like superhero genre, just go see it.
Right. Well, it's like,
and then you can work your way backwards and be like, oh,
that's what they meant.
And if you're like, if you want to criticize it like that, where you're like, well, they should be able to, a movie should stand on its own. Like, if you're going to see The Deathly Hallows Part 1, and you didn't watch any other Harry Potter movie,
if you're going to watch The Deathly Hallows Part 2 without watching Part 1,
that movie, both those movies make no effort to contextualize what's happening and bring the audience up to speed the way that this movie manages to do anyway, and still manage to not feel bogged down by exposition.
Right.
So, before you ruin the movie for yourself, add us to your watch later list, and then watch it later.
We'll be here.
So, we'll be waiting. So, and trust me, you're going to want to talk about this movie with somebody. So
why not us after you've seen the movie?
That's right. So, let's jump into it. All right, spoilers. Boom, spoilers. Wow. All right, so favorite moment spoilers. Go.
I don't have
Yeah, because the whole damn movie is basically that.
I could probably come up with one.
While you think
Okay.
I got it.
Oh.
Because I legitimately clapped. Well, okay, no, not that. I was gonna say another one, but Sal's going somewhere else with this. We'll do the one that Sal thought I was gonna say. Doctor Strange cast the Crimson Bands
That's
of
exactly what I thought
Cyttorak.
you were going to say.
No, he cast the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. It's the whole thing. It's literally what it looks like in the comics. I was like,
Yeah, and you hit me and went like,
I hit him and I went, hey! And I was like,
oh, that person in front of me probably didn't like that.
sorry.
That was so, yeah.
That was really awesome.
No, I was gonna say my moment where I actually like was one of the people who was like,
Yeah, I clapped my
was
hands.
when Thor returns to the field. That like trio, I was like,
Yeah.
yay!
Yeah, no.
I don't
that
clap
was
at
awesome.
movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna insult some people. I think it's dumb. You're in a theater.
The director's not there.
No one's
in a bow.
They're not getting any feedback from it.
Yeah.
It's audience members get hyped up. I get that, and I think to myself, I'm just like, look, just enjoy it. It's fine. Stop wooing. It's like when the person goes, they're behind the door.
Yeah.
You're like, shut up. You're watching a movie.
They don't know that.
I don't clap at movies. I clapped during this movie at that moment because I was like, hot damn, this is great.
Yeah, like I don't know what it was. Like so many people made amazing entrances. So many people had so many cool moments. But for some reason, in the heat of that battle, just him returning with those two. That is, it's Teenage Groot first of all, and Rocket Raccoon. Like I don't know. I was just like, I've always wanted to see that, and I didn't know I always wanted to see that.
And the image of the Bifrost.
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah.
Well, what was great about that was I didn't know it was going to happen.
Right. Yes.
Because they could have been going
any other way.
Titan, they could have been going somewhere, or they might have it might have been setting up for like they have something in the next movie.
Right.
So like I wasn't anticipating that
they
was
would
going to
show
happen.
up.
So they actually surprised me.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that
made
surprised
it
me too.
so much better.
Yeah.
Like just
Right?
awesome.
Totally. No, I agree.
Also, I love that Rocket's on Earth now.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him find raccoons.
And by the way, this is like,
There's
and
no
this
way.
is like spoilers, not spoilers. It doesn't matter at this point. But like, they did a phenomenal job. Like in the few lines the characters had at times, capturing that character entirely.
Yeah.
Rocket had plenty of lines, so that's not really
did.
fair.
Yeah, he had good
but if one of his only lines was his interaction with Winter Soldier, it captured it entirely.
Yeah.
Like wanting to buy his gun, wanting to get his arm.
Yeah.
Yep.
their interaction where he picks him up and they're fighting in a circle, and Rocket's fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm going to get that arm.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like, I believe it. Okay. I don't know what my favorite moment was because I enjoyed so many of them.
Yeah.
There was a moment for me that stood out when when the Team Iron Man was trying to strip the gauntlet from Thanos.
oh,
And my heart was racing.
yeah,
And I'm like, that never happens in the theater for me.
yeah.
Like, I'm never emotionally invested in a movie, and I don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to end. And I know there's another movie that stars Thanos in it, so I
Right.
know they're not going to
gonna
win.
Yeah.
But I'm still, like, in that moment, and, like, the tension and the way it was shot and the way that, like, everybody... Like, the way that everything led up to that sequence, I'm just, like...
Yeah.
I was in that moment, and I felt, like, concern and tension and everything that you feel when you go to see a movie that you have no expectations for. And that was, like, a purely earned moment that stood out to me where I was like freaking out, and I'm like, I'm really freaking out.
You are freaking out.
Man. It was intense.
Oh.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
that whole fight,
yeah.
the fight with Thanos was amazing because
Yes.
they kept coming up with new ways to like keep the battle going. Like the
Yes.
whole time they're on the back foot, but like they turn around a little bit here and there, and you're like, maybe they have a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you couldn't see how they possibly could, but like they come up with ways. Like they're heroes.
And
Like that's what they do.
Building.
Yeah.
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 And-
Like
It
they
gets
get a
more
little
and
closer
more,
and a little
yeah.
closer and a little closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes at a point in the movie where it's feasible he could lose the gauntlet for a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have all the stones,
Right.
and it's just like, well, naturally he could lose it now, and then he'd get it back, and then he'd get the stones because it would be where the rest of the stones are.
Right,
Like,
right.
I can see that completely happening. So it was just really cleverly placed in the film. Because if they put it any later, it would have been like, there's no way they're getting this gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
I guess as we go through the conversation and through the movie, we're going to be able to find a few moments where it's like, because I loved that movie, but there were a couple moments where I was like, One of them, it was Iron Man. Not his character, not his motivations, not his, just physically Iron Man.
You didn't like the look of his suit?
I don't like the look of the suit. It looked too cartoony because it could do anything.
I didn't mind that because it was nano. Like, as soon as he said it was like...
Oh no!
I was like,
for me,
fine.
it's magic.
it was
Okay.
it was narratively fine. I was like, yeah, it's nanotech, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
You just
But-
didn't like the visual.
I didn't like the visual of him
appearance
being
of it.
able to literally do anything at any time for any circumstance. Like he was it was not that he was too prepared, but like he was able to like when his arm morphed into a thing. I'm like, all right, like
His suit's like Batman. Like he's always got a thing.
Yeah,
for
well,
the
but, like,
next- whatever he
That's
happens
his
to be
next
facing.
progression. That
I know,
makes
but
sense.
I kind of for that I was like, Iron Man started this whole thing with the suit. This one thing they could do a
It had,
few
like,
set things.
couple rockets
I
and-
kind of wanted to see that. I kind of wanted to see like Iron Man fight Thanos, where
didn't
he's
have-
like, I don't have. This is all I've got.
Yeah.
But when he could do anything, it felt a little like, again, not really complaining. I'm just saying, like, that was a moment where I was, but not a moment, but I was like, okay, well, you know, whatever. All
I
right.
had no problem with that because it made sense to me. Because as he pointed out several times, like Thanos has been in his head since the beginning,
Right.
since like the Avengers. So he's been ready for this.
Yes.
he's been working towards
Right.
this.
It also it makes Iron Man 3 a little more satisfying because it explains why he was like habitually making different suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Which
he's
I really
clearly
like.
been like tinkering and adding because the suit has been getting more and more and more elaborate,
Yes.
and over the top since the beginning. So it was a natural progression.
Yeah.
I know what you mean about like every single scenario he had a thing for.
Well, and it wasn't even like that he had a thing where he's like, I got a thing for that. I'll take out my bat shark repellent. It was that he became that thing. You know, like he put his foot down and then it became a big foot.
Oh, yeah.
Or like he needed to shoot a plasma bolt, so his hand morphed into a cool looking gun. It was like these are things that like I don't know. I
thought
expected
that they did a good job of like recycling it because like his foot became like a big thing to stop him from moving, and then you saw his hand do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know.
there's a lot of recycling.
It works.
Some amount
It
of
works.
internal
It's just
logic
like,
to it, yeah.
and if that were the case, it would also been fun to. No, that's just me being a nerd. Where it's like in the '90s Iron Man cartoon show, he could change his armor could literally physically change into different distinct types of armor, which is complete horseshit
Yeah,
and
no.
cannot happen.
Yeah.
But with the nanotech, it should be able to like approximate any version of the Iron Man suit. So it's like, oh, we're going underwater. My nanotech will create
Right.
the underwater Iron Man action figure.
He put everything on the table. Like he did everything he possibly could.
Yeah.
He did things that you would never have thought of.
Yes.
But-
and it wasn't enough.
He
Yeah.
incorporated the fighting styles of his other teammates. He created a shield like
Yeah.
Cap would. He
Yeah.
created a big hammer out of his hands
Yeah.
like Thor
And
would.
we knew he
That's
could do that
true.
because he did it in Civil War. Like he told the computer to like study Cap's
yeah,
moves.
that's right.
And she
And
did.
that paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But without him saying out loud, like, I copied all your moves in Civil
Yeah.
War.
No,
yeah.
they're just like you know.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
My gripe. I have one gripe.
One gripe.
I have one gripe, and it could change in Blu-ray release. My gripe is at the end when Hulkbuster armor is hanging out there, and we see Bruce Banner's head in it. No,
Looks real bad.
look real bad, and I don't know why. Like that moment, like I really shouldn't have been looking there, and that's like I was having a hard time looking at
looked
the
at
rest
it
of the
too.
scene. And I was just like, it's not lit correctly. It doesn't look like he's in there. He doesn't
Yeah,
know where
it
to
didn't quite
look
look
because
right.
he's not there. Like I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird.
Why? Because that Hulkbuster armor looked great.
I had two gripes.
Oh, get out of here.
Ant-Man and Hawkeye. Not in the movie, and I'm not sure why. I'm sure there's some reason.
I liked that
But
at
I
least
don't-
they explained it.
Well, they had an explanation.
Yeah,
But like, what is the Marvel Studios reason?
Right. I'm hoping that since Ant-Man and the Wasp comes out next, Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place during or right
Right.
before Infinity War, and
Maybe.
Hawkeye's in it.
Yeah.
Because they both took plea deals
Yeah.
from the government.
Right.
So like maybe they're Avengers for the government now. Like they work to go on like secret Black Ops missions. So like
Right.
Ant-Man, Wasp, and Hawkeye are like going out into doing some messed up thing in
Yeah.
like Madripoor or something, and they're like, you can't go deal with the Infinity, or like if the Infinity War happens at the end of the movie, and they're like, oh crap,
Well,
we missed everything.
but I think it also it's kind of smart because it affords them the opportunity to have a lot of like first meetups again in the second film.
Yes.
because you don't
That's
you've
true.
got you're gonna have three
Half.
characters who show up who haven't been a part of this yet,
Yeah.
and so like, you're gonna have that chance to recapture some of the magic from this first one.
That's
Yes.
true. It'll be another team up movie.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit different of a team up. So
Yeah.
And they didn't. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say they didn't sweep it under the rug.
My hope is that it's not a con and that somehow Scott Lang was there the whole time.
I like that. I love that
Small.
idea. I think that's really fun.
No, what?
No,
you want to
because
see that, wouldn't you?
because at some point he would have done something.
Maybe he did. You didn't see
He
it.
would have become Giant Man. He would have been swatting aside those things
Yeah.
and kicking them and stepping on them and stuff.
Yeah, but then you would have gotten a Civil War moment where, like, I mean, from the comics, where like Proxima Moon Knight just dives through Ant-Man's chest and kills him, which I don't want to see.
I don't want to see that either.
I don't want to see that, but like I'm hoping he's
Well, I
not
don't
just
wanna
like
see
super
that.
small and hiding out somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like in one of Thanos' folds.
Yeah,
Like he's in the gauntlet somewhere and he's learning to like dislodge
that would be really
things.
cool. Are you kidding me? If they show in the next one that stuff, that's awesome. I'm down.
That would be cool.
Like I said, like I'm always like my original theory was that like Ant-Man would go back in time and be like in all the Marvel movies, get like trying to like fix things, and that he was always in them. You just never saw him. But now we've got this whole movie that we see where he's been.
Interesting idea.
And I'm down with that. I think that'd be great.
I enjoyed the like rapport between Strange and Wong. I enjoyed Strange in this movie way more than I did in Doctor Strange.
Far, all the other Marvel movies seem to be getting Strange better than the original movie.
Yep. He was missing his gloves, which I didn't like.
Yeah.
Because he had them in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Where did they go?
I think Waititi just wanted to use them.
The gloves on.
And Doctor Strange giving Tony Stark a whole lot of shit.
I like them giving each other it, and like
Yeah.
it was interesting because there were moments for me though that I was just like, Doctor Strange in the comics wouldn't be this belligerent.
He's very belligerent.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you're like borderline too belligerent for me.
He was being as obtuse as they were in the comic from What If,
The What If.
newer
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, where he's like,
Yeah.
I have a plan. And like, what is it? And he's like, it's
No.
very basic, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell you everything.
Well,
like, come on.
And like, here's the thing, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I think the like subtext is like, you know, and Tony's like, I think you should probably get that stone out of here. And it's just like, and where will I go?
Right.
Right.
And where will I put it?
Yeah, there's more you could do to explain it. It would
Yeah.
only take a
When
second.
will you go?
Get out of here.
Yeah, like,
Thank God nobody said that.
Yeah, he wrecked a whole planet to get one.
Yeah.
You can't put it, it's not like you can put it in the sun. Like,
Well, I mean, he could put it in another dimension.
yeah, he should have put it in the mirror dimension. Well,
Or he could have
But
gone
then again,
in
anyway.
time.
Yeah, but he still had the
Yeah.
Enemy Maw on his side still, so it may not
that's
have.
true. Yeah, he could have just gone to like 1776 and like stuck it in a bunker.
It'd still be there though.
No,
Yeah, but like Thanos can't go back in time and get it.
That's
it'll
my
be there
point.
now.
Oh, yeah.
No, not in the bunker.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
like,
can't
no,
go back.
Doctor Strange
You'd have
just
to go into the
hangs
future.
out in different times trying to escape
Right.
Thanos.
Well, in any case, you can't.
Regardless.
It works.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
But he is a jackass.
he is.
Yeah.
But you know what? He is kind of a jackass. So
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, but it was like it was almost a little too
far.
amped up.
Well, it was like, why is he being so frustrated?
Because they wanted a
Yeah.
foil for Tony, and Star-Lord hadn't gotten there yet.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
they both have facial hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
start with me.
They're both arrogant characters. So, and for Iron Man, like, we've more established that he's like
Yeah.
an arrogant dick.
Yes.
Whereas
Right.
Strange, like, you have some of it,
Yeah.
but he was a little bit less of an arrogant dick in Doctor Strange.
Oh no, he certainly was.
So
They missed
this
it
seems
there.
like a little bit out of left
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like even that it was wrong. It's just like it's not what you did already.
Well,
So,
for me,
like,
it was
that's
only
a little bit of
wrong in that
whiplash.
the whole universe was at danger and risk, and that like he didn't explain himself better.
Yeah, like
I'm
you
just
kind of
like,
have an obligation.
Yeah, but
to help
Yeah.
everyone
He
solve
does,
the
he
problem.
does say that he does have an outlet. He's like, my job is this.
oh yeah, no, I know.
Well, I mean,
Like,
to
if you-
work with the people who can help fix it.
Right.
Instead of like trying to go it alone.
Yeah.
In Thor Ragnarok, Doctor Strange was also a bit of a dick to Thor, and especially to Loki.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is perfect.
But the stakes weren't like.
But
It
The
wasn't
stakes
like
weren't insane.
I wouldn't have
No.
been screaming at him like, Jesus Christ, could you just like stop for like a second? Fucking Thanos is coming, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, could you set your shit aside
The
for
Hulk
1
couldn't
minute?
beat him.
Like,
Yeah.
I was feeling that way a little.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's true.
a little
It was
bit.
frustrating.
We got great interaction when Spider-Man showed up. Those three are great together.
Yes.
We've established
Yes.
in the comics that Strange and Peter Parker are a great combination. We've established in the films that Peter Parker and Tony Stark are a great combination.
Yep.
So putting the three of them together and him kind of just being stuck in the middle,
Yeah, it's being like, hey, this is great.
fantastic.
That's like a pitch for Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. Like, because if you're gonna put like if Phase 4 is team up movies, Doctor Strange needs to be in Homecoming 2.
That'd be awesome.
That's the team up movie.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be really, I love that. When we meet the Guardians, that is so flawlessly handled because Guardians look so different
Yes.
in the other Marvel movies, and they just seamlessly were just like, now you're over here.
Yeah, and I like the music cue because the
Yes.
whole movie is beautifully scored by Alan Silvestri, and he does this phenomenal job. I've been very critical of the Avengers score before, but like everything worked so freaking well. There were only 2 songs
Yeah.
you saw from the credits.
And one of them is the Black Panther theme.
Yeah.
Right. But the other one is like a licensed song to establish the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Because that's how we establish the Guardians of the Galaxy is through an actual like pop
Song.
song.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to have that in there and not have it feel weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a combination of that, the overall look, and that like cue,
Yes.
like space.
Right.
Yes.
That's where they are.
I was like, that's genius. You've completely like set me into that mindset again.
Yeah,
Now I'm in
right
Guardians
back
of the
in
Galaxy.
Guardians
Yep.
of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And then like as soon as reality hits them, I'm just like, oh cool. That's
Yeah.
like that's perfect. Like we are leaving Guardians of the Galaxy and joining.
Yeah, it's like the Marvel Universe just hit them.
And reality doesn't just hit them. Thor hits them.
Yeah.
Physically.
Shakes them right out of their bubble and into the
Yes.
rest of the world. It's great.
By the way, Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a perfect match.
Yep.
That entire initial interaction with Drax and everybody.
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Especially with... It works so much better with this version of Thor
Yes.
than all like it's been building to like let's just make Thor
Funny.
like he's in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy all
Make
the
him
time.
fun.
Yes.
And it works.
Yeah.
Who's this dude? He's not a dude.
You are a dude.
He's a man. But
Ah, that's gold.
it's just so well done, and Mantis being part of the crew now, it's like flawless.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
she
She
seamlessly
fits
fit right
really
in.
well.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did a great job. She plays a very specific role in this whole thing. She is definitely needed.
And they don't waste her. They
No.
just, they don't
Yeah.
like. She doesn't just go like, "Well, I will guard the ship for you."
No, like she has a thing to do.
Yeah.
We,
It's the perfect use of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
We get Gamora of like having like great importance, and it's like that makes sense.
Yes.
Of course she does.
Yeah, they really focus on that. And Gamora's development in this movie was like leaps and bounds. than
It
the last
was,
two.
and like I gotta tell you, I'm sure there's a moment where Peter Quill's like, "Man, I shouldn't have killed my dad. My crazy space guy."
Yeah, I
died."
could have had celestial
Wish I
powers.
found a way. Yeah.
Oh well.
But using her to build Thanos' character, because I figure we should talk about that.
Yep.
Definitely the
Oh,
fact that
yeah.
like Thanos went from being what we've seen in the comics, where it's all for Mistress Death, it's all for his ego, it's all for just
For nothing,
power.
because he's
Yes.
a nihilist.
yeah, because he can. To like having like a legitimate reason for doing things, whether or not you agree with it or not, that's not the point. The point is his like call to being a villain comes from him thinking he's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the best kind of villain.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like a concept you've heard of, right? The idea
Yeah.
that like there's too many people. What if we just had less people?
Right.
Yes.
All our problems would be fixed, and that is like a seductive idea. Most people wouldn't go to the extremes that he is, but if you
Right.
think that like that could work, and if you think that like, well, I can make all these lives better if I just had fewer people,
Right.
There is logic in what he's saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't refute the fact that, like, yes, if there are fewer people, there are more resources for everybody.
Right,
Yeah.
But you can't justify how you get
right.
there.
It's heinous.
But
Yeah.
he can.
Yeah.
Right, but it also like them putting these reasons in for him, like the desire to like help the universe.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, gives him like there's compassion to him to some degree.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
him sympathetic.
But it also like makes or allows for the Gamora relationship with him to make more sense
Yes.
because there is something more to him.
Yeah.
Right.
And like taking Gamora and almost putting her in the place of Mistress Death
Yeah.
Yeah.
is interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
like
my-
he loves something, and it's less random.
Yes.
Than when he loved, like, what? Wait, why does he love Mistress Death? I still don't fucking know.
Right.
I guess if I
I
read
mean, it's
the books, I
yeah,
would
if you read
understand
them, you get it a
better.
little better. But even
Yeah.
still, it's still superficial.
Yeah. Whereas this is like he raised her. Of
Right.
course he loves her. Well,
Yeah.
not of course, but like
And
you
his-
can see why.
We see him
Maybe a
also
relationship.
bring her into the fold, and like even his compassion towards her there is kind of like why her out of all of them? I guess because she has a little bit of a fighting spirit, but like why does that elicit like a fatherly, paternal type of feeling to inside of him? Like he is suddenly he's feeling and
I assume
compassionate.
I retconned in my brain that she was the first one.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
first child of Thanos.
Yeah.
Or he does that all the time. And it's just like, that's his thing. Like, I mean, he does, right?
Yes.
He's got all these children. So like,
Yeah.
he has
Well-
this, like, feeling that he wants to, like, have children. And maybe, like, she's the only one that really, like, he actually, like, got actual, like, emotional feeling.
Yeah, like,
because
he
he
once
doesn't
felt like-
care about Nebula,
At
obviously.
all, no.
And he doesn't seem to care about the others, but he did for her.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, it's a thing he does.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Within his character.
Talking about Gamora, I don't understand how you didn't bring this up as one of your spoiler moments that blew your mind.
What?
Is when we go to the planet.
Oh,
And there's a certain character we haven't seen in a
Yeah,
long
Red
time.
Skull is in the movie, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's
that
totally
like that was one of
unexpected.
those came out of left field. I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Blew
I
my
thought it
mind.
was an entity. I thought it was like
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
the Eternals.
Well, first
or
I was like,
Cosmic
is it
Being or
death? Is
something.
this where
Right,
we're gonna
right.
get death?
Right.
And then it was the Red Skull, and
Well,
I'm like,
like-
right.
for like a quick second, that's my foot. That's
Oh.
that's why
oh.
we're having a hard time.
I see.
For like a quick second, I was like, is this gonna be a Watcher?
I'd
That's really
Yeah,
weird.
that'd be weird.
we
Weird
already
choice,
saw
Marvel.
those.
Yeah.
What?
be
Yeah.
fine with a Watcher, but the fact that we got Red Skull.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
bringing back Red
so
Skull.
insane.
Fixing one of their egregious mistakes.
Yes,
when
of
they
never using him.
seemingly killed him.
Yeah, no, he was. If you watch Captain America: The First Avenger again, there's a moment he's holding the space stone, and he just teleports into space. Like you don't, his whole body basically like practically bifrosts out of the ship. And then into
vaporized.
No, you watch it. It like launches into space and it opens up like a hole, and you just see him like go to a planet. And you're like,
that's right.
Oh, they put him someplace because Hugo Weaving's a pain in the ass and doesn't want to do these movies. And in fact, like they just got a character actor to play Hugo Weaving in this movie. He's not Hugo Weaving. It's just some dude doing his voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wondered because like I heard the voice and I'm like, oh, Hugo Weaving. Wait, is that Hugo Weaving?
Yeah, I could not put it together because when I heard it, I was like, that sounds like Hugo Weaving. But I didn't hear anything about Hugo Weaving being in the movie, and also it sounded a little off. And I was like, oh, well, it makes sense that Hugo Weaving would at least provide the voice because obviously Red Skull is all CG and he looks fantastic. But Hugo Weaving,
he didn't even do that.
But he apparently didn't even do that. But he'll do Transformers 19.
But I was gonna say, but that's kind of smart because like. If you had Hugo Weaving in the movie, you would have known Red Skull was in it because somebody would have leaked, or it would have been in the IMDb.
We would have seen him at the premiere.
Yeah, and instead it's just like everyone got to be surprised.
Yeah, and we were.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And now they can do anything with Red Skull. They could leave him alone and never do anything again. And you're like, there was the payoff. Or he comes back.
Yeah.
And now you get Red Skull. And you have an actor who's not afraid to take a paycheck and plays a cool Captain America.
Show up and do it.
Yeah.
I guess because I think we've been talking for a while now.
Yeah.
I feel like we should talk at least about Cap and his team. They're great. They fit in like really well in like terms of the continuity that they left behind.
Yes. Yeah. Cap's
Renegade Avengers.
His Renegade Avengers. The fact that he's Nomad now.
Yeah, but nobody
says that. Thank God.
But that's what he is.
Yeah.
His costume.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
cool.
sad because he just rips off all the things that identify him as who he was and his affiliations with the teams that he was like that defined him, and that's sad.
He copies Thor and has a beard.
I was gonna say that's my favorite line of the movie.
That's your favorite line?
It's one of
well, look, he's got a beard. Of course, it's a beard line.
Because they haven't seen each other forever. And it's like new haircut. As you've copied my beard. That's how they greet each other.
I also like that Cap doesn't refute that. He's not like no. He's like. I mean, you're hot and cool.
It works. Man.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was not that was a fine line. That did not rank on my top lines.
If you had a beard, you'd understand, Tiffany.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of great lines.
You could grow a beard,
right?
When you can grow a beard, Tiffany,
I could be a beard.
Then you'll understand.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I could actually physically be one. Going to Wakanda was great. I was like, we're just here.
Yeah.
I love coming here.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it made sense.
Yes. Yep. I mean, it was funny. Everyone was super jazzed in the theater when T'Challa showed up. People were equally as jazzed when Okoye showed up. I was like, yay!
Yeah, good. No, that was cool.
He's my favorite.
I loved that moment when Steve and T'Challa are both running into battle.
Oh my
first,
god!
Yeah,
and they're neck and neck, and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
yeah, that was really fun.
I like that.
Amazing.
And when his sister was like, "Why didn't you just reprogram them in this order?" And Bruce Banner's like, "Well, it's because we didn't think of that."
Yeah, because we're not little geniuses like you.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
the combined intellect of me and Tony Stark couldn't come up with what you had.
Yeah.
She's like, the relationship between Vision and Wanda I thought was handled really nicely.
Yeah.
They pretty much were just like, a lot happened since the last time you saw
and
these two.
stuff
and nobody wanted to see a movie of that anyway, so it worked out great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I'm not going to watch Wanda and Vision fall in love with each other. We get it.
Well, you got enough in the previous movies to see, like, that it didn't come out of nowhere.
No,
it was
exactly.
set it up just enough.
Yeah.
No, and that was cool.
I appreciated it. I appreciated her not being just crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But she's crazy powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And she did a lot in this movie.
She did. She wasn't there all that much, but when she was there, they made it count.
Yeah.
I thought that was
and
great.
she used her powers really expertly to remove her Sokovian accent, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes.
She just decided that was kind of annoying to do.
Kind of
she has Storm's powers, apparently. Storm in the movies, of course, she has the ability to just drop her accent progressively as the movies continue. And so does Scarlet Witch, which I thought was really good. Also because it was kind of like a fake, stupid accent. Anyway,
Yeah,
right?
So
great.
It was...
like, bleh.
All right, so does anyone else have any thoughts before I want to bring up the part of the ending?
Okay, no, I'm good. I just like,
stuff.
Cool stuff. It's great. Like, everyone, your homework is, of course, to let us know your favorite moment in the comments down below.
Right, because there's so much
Yeah,
Like,
there's so much to unpack. We could do like a 2-hour episode where we're just like, okay, so let's talk about this scene and then this scene, because each scene is cool and fun.
yes.
Like, I'm happy to talk about any of them, but let's not waste your time.
Yeah, no, and like it's just it's one of those things you have to go for yourself. Just know that we appreciated all of it, and like
Yeah, we're sorry.
every
like,
time
for
I
your
think
favorite
of
moment.
a cool moment, I think of another cool moment.
Yes.
Like right.
It's
on
a
the
domino
heels.
effect. We're never going to run out of cool moments.
Exactly.
We
And
did
it's not
talk
even just
about
cool moments. The dialogue's just so witty.
Yeah.
And like, but it's also like can be so meaningful. Like,
yeah. And they did that thing where they addressed the problem I've heard that people have from Marvel movies, where like there's a really serious moment and then they punctuate it with a little joke.
Yeah.
And it like undercuts the real seriousness of that moment. And they did that at least 3 times in this movie. But when the stakes were the most dire, they did not do that.
No.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, well, this is not the time for a laugh right now.
Yeah. Right.
And I really appreciate it. That's like that's exercising some semblance of restraint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool in a movie that is basically unrestrained.
Yeah.
And you got your heart cut out a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
When Vision
Multiple
is talking
times.
to Wanda and he's just like begging her,
Yeah,
like,
to not.
you have, like, you're the only person that can
Yeah.
kill me.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, it's you.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Like, I'm really sorry, but you understand, like, it has to be.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
glad
brutal.
it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the end real quick and talk about the fact that a lot of characters are gone now from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them are not characters we thought were going to be gone. And there are a lot left that we thought would be.
Yes, we figured, okay, well, the contracts are up for a few of these guys. We'll see the end of Cap. We'll see the end of Thor. We'll see the end of Iron Man. Oh, none of them die?
Yeah, which I appreciated because at the end of the day, who are our original Avengers?
Yes.
And for them to not be there at the culmination of their 10-year battle, basically, like,
wouldn't be right.
it's inexcusable.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they were able to do that. That worked out great. I was wrong. I thought that the snap of the fingers was going to be, like, figurative, and that Gamora says it in the trailer where she's like, he could just snap his fingers and end half of life on Earth, or half of life in the universe. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not going to literally do that. Like, that was in the comics, and it worked, and it's fine, it's its own thing, but, like, he doesn't have to... And then they do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, shut my mouth, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, like...
And it worked.
And it worked in such a, like, gut-wrenchingly, like, horrible way that it's like, wow, you really figured out a way to do it and make it your own.
Yeah, and the effect on the people, like
Dying?
dying or being unmade.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
It's horrifying.
It does.
Yeah.
It does what Blade 2 really wanted to do.
People, like,
You mean
exploding
how that last vampire was not supposed
Oh,
to
that
die,
one?
and she had the most beautiful death ever?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't
Just
worry. It's
flaked
cool.
off
It's
and-
beautiful. It's great.
Yeah. no.
But you know what I mean? Like they did it so well, and like it having like happening at random moments, and like seeing each of them go
Yeah.
of characters that we cared about. Not the rest of the world, and seeing the reactions from others, I thought was phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether they be noticed or not, like when it really made me sad that Falcon like disappeared and nobody was there.
Yeah, that
for
really
him.
that really
Yeah.
sucked.
I was
I
just
loved
like-
Falcon.
Yeah,
and I
I
was
was
sad
sad to see him go, and that's what I thought was so interesting. I was so convinced that Bucky or Falcon was going to take up the shield of Captain America,
Yep.
and they're like, "Oh no, Tiffany!
Oh no,
No.
we're getting rid of both
Yeah,
of them."
both
I'm like,
the Cap
They're both
relations
gone.
are gone.
Yeah.
right?
It has to be Cap.
Did Bucky's gun go with him?
No.
Okay,
It
well
was
then,
on the ground.
Then Rocket can
Well,
get
he's
that
gonna
then.
have
Well,
it.
that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But then, like, Falcon's wings disappeared.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's your clothes, but not things you're holding.
Well, let's not get into the intricacies of how
Right.
death works.
Internal logic
Exactly.
of how
Yeah.
Thanos decided to remove things from the universe.
They very obviously, again, like Bucky and Falcon. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But there were some characters like obviously you got rid of Wanda because she can unmake one of the gems.
Yes.
You know what I
if
mean?
she has the power to be able to remove gems or whatnot, we
She-
gotta take her
yeah,
off
she
the
can't be here anymore. Same with Strange, which I was sad to see him go because like by the end of the film I was so into his character and what he was doing.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, you have to get rid of him because he still has magic. He still has access to other dimensions.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to go,
Right.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I think people eventually, and I haven't read anything because I was like, no, I don't want to read anything about it yet. But like, I think people are going to have an issue with the fact that he let the time gem go like that.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it because he went through 14 million versions of that battle, and only one of them did they win. And I have a feeling by the time he made the call to give him the gem, he already saw that they had not done the one that they wanted to. And he's just like, we're already going to lose, and I'm going to die. Like, he knew that
Right.
he was going to be unmade, and so he was just like, I can't let Tony die.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting. I had a different interpretation. I thought
too.
he saw that Thanos gets the time gem in the one where they win. So he's like, it had to be this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like it was very fitting for him to die because like he knew he was gonna die too.
Right.
And he like accepted it and like
That's
went
funny.
with that plan.
Or
anyway.
he knew that everyone dies in the one where they, in that one where he's
Yeah.
like, I lose the time gem, but if I can change it so that Tony doesn't die, then that's an X factor. It changes the course of
That
what
could
I
be
saw.
because like I thought when he was like talking about the permutations of the like what was about to happen, it wasn't the long game. I thought it was just what was
Just
going
the
to happen
battle?
on Titan.
Yeah.
Like and so like I think I assumed he was only looking in terms of the time gem.
Right.
I had
I
another
saw it the
interpretation
way
of
that you saw it. I thought like this was the one way that we might be able to get out of this.
Or maybe he didn't see that much, but he saw Tony Stark was alive, so he's like, "Oh, I know I have
Yeah.
to like save him because
Yes.
I know that he lives and he
Right.
helps defeat Thanos at the end." Maybe. I mean, we don't know. We
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what
true.
they saw,
Right.
and they deliberately cut it right after that,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
you can't see like them having a discussion because obviously they would, right? Well, what did you see?
Yeah.
How did it go down?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see
and you
that.
don't see it.
My interpretation was that he lied to give them strength to try and fight, and that there was
interesting.
no permutation where they won, but we have to fight anyway.
But there has to be because they have to win.
Well, I know,
right?
but like he only
Yeah.
but I saw it where he only sees the fight on Titan. Where he's like,
Oh yeah,
we lose.
Where we lose to
Yeah.
We lose to
Interesting.
Thanos here, and that means that's the end.
Yeah.
And like, but we have to try. And if I tell them all that we fail, they're not going to want to fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my theory.
We lose all of the Guardians except for Rocket.
Yeah, that was odd.
That was because Gamora's already gone. Mantis is gone, which again I think they had to pull her out because what is she able to do? She was able to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she was able, even if it was just for a few moments, they almost got the gauntlet off of him.
Yeah,
And,
knowing
like-
that works, they could just do it again
Yeah.
and have a better plan to get the gauntlet
The
off.
fact that we lost Star-Lord, I was like, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That was a real shame because it's like Thanos kills Gamora, and now he removes Star-Lord, or like he's from like the whole equation. It's just like I really wanted him there
Yeah, I really wanted to
during
see
that
him.
final battle. Which who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how it's gonna go down.
I don't. Yeah, well, that's a big thing about this whole movie was I didn't know what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
And
Yeah, you
like
still
part of
don't
me
know.
doesn't want to know, and I know it's a
I'm
whole
glad
year,
I
and I'm
don't-
gonna think about it, obviously. But like right now, I just love the fact that I don't know where they're going with this.
Yes.
Just we'll just cover the last two. Obviously, it was terrible watching Rocket lose Groot again.
That was sad. He's like, you just died. Like,
yeah,
2
like
years
you
ago or
just
whatever.
came back.
Yeah.
And like you're kind of a dick right now. But
He's a teenager, so yeah.
and the one that made like everybody cry,
Yeah, with Spider-Man.
which was just like I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
no one
either.
saw that coming. He
No.
just got here.
Yeah, and then we killed
I
him.
kind of saw that. Well, once I saw how many people were disappearing, I was like, they're going to do Spider-Man. Because that's what's going to kill Tony the most.
Right,
That's
but
what's going to
like-
make him feel like such an asshole.
Right.
Right.
For getting him into
But
it.
I wasn't convinced at that point that Tony was going to even make it.
Oh,
Right.
well,
Like,
yeah.
I really,
I was still in the mindset of like, no.
Yeah.
And I was also surprised they killed Star-Lord because I was like waiting for them to do the emotional payoff of like, so Peter dies, and then Star-Lord makes it, and Tony's like, this is all your fault.
Yeah, that's true.
But we don't get that.
No.
Yeah, but we still get the emotional payoff of Tony being completely ruined as a human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
And alone.
Yeah, and that's great.
Well, no, he's got Nebula.
Nebula's there.
Yeah, lucky him.
He's got this chick he's never fucking met.
Who's
Yeah.
just a psycho.
Hey.
It's like, are you on
She
my
was
side?
useful.
I don't
What are we doing?
understand.
Yeah, no, she's
She
got
was
she's the one with the
useful.
ship.
She was great in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Tom
Peter-
Holland did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his death
Oh.
scene was really sad, and
Yeah.
also like I didn't like it because of how like real and raw and like sad it was because like
Yeah.
a teenager dying, he didn't want to go, and it really made me sad to hear him like just kind of like crying and wishing that he wasn't going to go.
And he's
But I also
scared.
but I
Yeah.
didn't like that because I'm like Spider-Man would be like no, like I understand like what the like
Yeah.
I don't know I
It was a different Spider-Man. It's
yeah
not
this is
your
a
Spider-Man.
no it's
Well,
a
he's
younger
new.
it's a new Spider-Man.
Well, he went from fighting the Vulture to fighting a god.
yes,
Yeah.
which
You
it
know,
means
like-
that the next time when he fights Sandman it's gonna be really friggin' lame.
Or he's going to be like, I can do this.
Yeah, I got this. I mean, I was, 'cause
I
I've
get-
seen Spider-Man die before.
Yeah.
And seeing him face death, especially the Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm like, he's satisfied because he knew what he did.
Yeah.
Like, was saved other people. I guess in this case,
in this
didn't,
case, that's the
'cause
thing.
it was
Like
random.
he
He hasn't
died for
had
no
enough time to
reason.
do that.
He hasn't
Yeah.
had many
No, it's true.
successes.
And it was gut wrenching.
It's funny, like
successful.
I interpreted it almost like I knew it was fear, but I felt like I interpreted a lot of his like
Anxiety.
or his reason for acting that way to being the regret of going. Like
Yes.
Tony Stark gave him every opportunity to not go,
Right.
and he refused it. And I think like in that moment he was just like, I really should have listened to you.
Yeah, but I still would have died just on Earth.
He
Yeah.
still might have died,
died,
but
yeah.
maybe it's also the fact that maybe he didn't want Tony to see him die.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
he knows that's like, I could have died somewhere else, but like now I'm doing it in front of him and he has to see it.
I remember. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Like, you're my idol.
You know what was
Sad.
one thing that bothered me about that? The only thing, because I love that scene. It takes him so long to disappear versus everyone else. I'm like, but why would why would his disappearance
I don't know. Maybe
be
it's the
so
suit.
much longer?
Maybe it's the
Maybe,
nanotech.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, no, I disappeared like up to here.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh, come on. Like, the one who's like most heart-wrenching to see die,
Yeah.
you're gonna
The
drag it
longest-
out
Well, I
Thanos?
do-
Come on.
That happened with Groot too.
Yeah,
Groot was
Groot-
slowly disappearing
Groot
and
took a while,
Rocket's talking
too.
to him. I think this is just
feel
happening to
Spider-Man dies a
people
little
at a different
longer.
time.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man took like, I want
little
to say like
longer.
15, 20 seconds.
I was gonna say it seemed like because like Wanda was so fast, it was like because she accepted it because in a world where she couldn't be.
Yeah,
with
it could be that
Vision,
maybe Spider-Man's
that she
fighting
was like, I
against
don't
it.
Maybe
care.
like you can hold yourself together
for a little bit
bit.
longer because like
Maybe.
it just literally like because she was just like and she was gone.
Yeah,
Like,
because Nick Fury's is a little slower. But
yeah,
then he gets like annoyed and then it just goes away.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was cool.
So real quick, PS scene.
Yeah,
cool with
one
it?
post-credit scene at the end, which is great because when the movie ends and everyone dies and Farmer Thanos ends the book or the movie like friggin' Infinity Gauntlet, I think I heard somebody say there might have been a Scarecrow Thanos in there, but I don't remember if that's true.
Well, I gotta see
if there
it
is, I
again.
gotta watch it again.
Well, we're gonna do that.
Gee
Anyway.
whiz.
No, once is enough for me.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna buy it. But so Farmer Thanos like satisfied with success, and people are calling this the Empire Strikes Back of the Avengers trilogy, which because it's like a down ending.
No one wins in this except Thanos.
Yeah, the
that's
bad
true.
guy
It's
wins.
a complete defeat.
Yeah,
in every
which
sense.
is great. And then it ends with that beautiful score by Alan Silvestri, and just that really the classy credits.
Yeah, the fonts were great.
Yes.
And you see in that first transition, the space.
Yeah.
And then there might have been another one.
They
before
did
that, but-
Nowhere. They did Space.
Yeah,
They did Wakanda.
and it's like it looks perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the fonts are really distinct.
Yep.
Which is funny because the Russos did the exact same thing with Civil War. When they covered the screen,
Yes.
and it was very specific.
Yep.
Like, it was a very odd
very
choice.
impactful.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah.
And I guess they're really good at putting fonts on movies. I don't know. I haven't
I
seen
don't
more
know.
than one or two
Fonts.
Russo brothers.
And they didn't repeat
They can be
themselves.
great.
But yeah, once that happens, and you're just like, there's no room for like the Grandmaster to be like, oh no, and then he disappears.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh wait, there's just a Thor Ragnarok ending where we just see every character, we see Sylvester Stallone, oh no, and he disappears. There's people like Coulson and his ragtag team Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We see Mac going, oh man, and he disappears no.
No, I did kind of think it might be.
Jesus.
I thought it might have been Hawkeye and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ant-Man's like, ah.
The post-credit scene, I think there was a moment probably for a lot of people where when that thing is dialing out,
Yeah.
it's just and you're waiting, it's sending, and it's dot, 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 and it's like,
4.
or it's clobbering time, or
Yeah.
no? I mean, there's no way they do that.
No. Well,
But
because it was a
still-
digital screen, they could have waited right until
Yeah.
before they deliver the movies to theaters, where they're like, the 4.
Yeah.
No.
I also thought for a second they wouldn't put anything. You'd see the dot, dot, dot,
Yeah.
and
I had a feeling it would be that, and it wasn't.
The
No.
dots
Yeah.
that long, I was definitely like, oh my god, they're not going to show us who
Yeah.
it is.
I thought it was just going to say received.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know it goes somewhere, but
Yeah.
you don't know who.
It's
Yeah.
that's not enough.
Yeah,
By the
this
way,
was good.
I-
What they did was great.
I was really like, oh, Nick Fury's back, cool.
Yeah. No.
Yep. No.
What?
He got to do one thing.
And then die,
Yep.
which sucks.
So I guess he was calling Captain Marvel from space.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
they call it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Well, there were spoilers, right? They
Yeah.
all saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, well, we never said.
Well, we
it's-
didn't say it,
it's
but they
Captain
saw
Marvel.
it.
But they
so-
saw it, they know. Yeah,
Unless
it's
they
true.
don't know what the logo is.
Yeah,
for
it was
Captain
Captain Marvel.
It's Captain
Yeah. Yeah. Which looked like the Nova Corps logo for a second.
Yeah, for a second when the star fell out, I was like,
Nova, but they're all dead now.
It really looked like that because it looked like one of their ships too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
no, never mind.
and then they were like, I bet they were like, it's a little hard to tell. Put the colors.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay.
Yeah.
fine.
I wasn't sure when I saw this. I'm like, is that? Because I thought it was going to be Captain Marvel. I'm not like, is that star the Captain Marvel
Yeah,
star?
it
She does
is.
have a star. I don't know the character well enough to be
There's, like,
intimately familiar
colors.
with that shape. Oh, okay. There's the colors.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
now
you.
I-
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. I don't even know.
It's a great way to introduce Captain Marvel officially to the Marvel Universe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and explain where she came from without like having to have a whole movie. Except they will.
Yeah, there will be a whole movie. That's fine. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
but that movie's gonna take place in the past.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now. I'm more hyped for it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure they were going to tie her into the Infinity War storyline in some way, but now it's like confirmed,
Yeah.
and I feel much better.
So much of the movie is payoff for what's been going on that like in no way was I expecting anything new to arrive. So I'm like very happy that
Yeah.
like, they actually managed to make that fit without disrupting the flow of the movie
It's
or
true.
like
Yeah.
interrupting payoffs.
I was convinced that Adam Warlock was going to be the post-credit scene, and when he told me like originally he was a villain, I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and
But
then
then with the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy 2, no, that makes total sense.
That
of
makes
course
more
he's a
sense than to
villain.
be a villain, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, James Gunn confirmed he will appear first in Guardians 3.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think there was any way.
I'm so
So they
glad.
do Adam Warlock.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
well, because it would come out of left field,
It is so
and everything was
He
so
will, like,
well
what?
thought out in that
Yeah,
movie that I was
Thanos
like,
works in this world where like Tony Stark is a character. Like,
Yeah.
It really worked.
Yeah.
Theories on what they're going to call Avengers 5 or 4.
Four.
4, yeah.
the Revengers.
Revengers.
I like it.
Is there
It doesn't
another?
have to be the Revengers.
We don't have to go with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there another Infinity
Yes,
like
there's
title
many.
that would make sense?
There's Infinity War, Gauntlet, Crusade.
Maybe Crusade. Infinity Crusade. Their crusade to like exact revenge on
Yes.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Because that's what it'll be. Like, we could talk about like whether we think that everyone's going to come back when they get the Infinity Gauntlet back, but like these characters aren't thinking that they're going to get to bring anyone back.
No, they're like, we're just left to.
And
with
Thanos
our-
already won, so it's like you could just leave it, but like they're not gonna.
No.
It's gonna be like we gotta fucking make them pay.
Yes. Yeah, there has to be a response.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the Avengers Strike Back. That'd be the name.
Infinity Revenge.
Infinity Assault. Yeah. Infinity Attack.
Infinity Cabal.
Infinity Cabal.
Infinity Futures End.
Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Infinity End.
I think, yeah.
Or just Infinity.
Well, unless they don't use any infinities at all. Like, my theory was always that it's called Avengers Disassembled.
What do they
Because
call
they
it?
were.
What do they call it?
But that
Avengers
already happened.
Reborn.
Avengers Reborn.
Reborn.
Yeah.
West Coast Avengers.
I don't
They go
think
hang
we're-
out in California.
That
in
would
a
be
movie.
weak. I think, but having talked about it now, like hashed out like all the different Infinity titles, I like it Crusade.
Crusade.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they also said that they didn't want to release the name of the movie before the movie came out.
Yeah. Oh.
They didn't want to tell you what Avengers 4 was called before Avengers 3 came out because they said the title would have spoiled the ending of Infinity War.
Okay.
My guess is
Interesting.
that because Feige also said he was like he was really regretful that he did that because like now everyone's like it's never going to live up to the hype of everybody's expectations of
Right.
what the title's going to be.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I guess it wasn't really that much of a spoiler, so oops. But we're still going to wait. So I don't know
Okay.
when it's going to come out. Like I don't know when they're going to tell us what the title
I
is.
do kind of like that anyway because it allows us to live in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Without looking for like already talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
well,
next
well
one. Like,
this
give us
big
a
movie
second.
that took 10 years to make is finally here. Let's talk about the next
Yeah,
one.
on to the next
Yeah, let's talk about
thing.
the title. We got a title.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about that title. Let's spend
Let's
an hour and a
deconstruct
half.
every letter.
Yes.
Now, what's the possible interpretation of this word?
Right, and we have 3 different titles, so this is going to be a 12-hour podcast. Oh, hey, shout out to Josh Brolin.
Looks like you're punching yourself.
I think he's great in this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
He just
Yeah.
completely crushed it.
yeah,
did.
he sucks the rest of the time.
He's done really bad things before, which is why I was surprised to see him do such a good job in this.
I'm not taking the bottom of the thing out.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he did awesome.
Completely did it.
Get your hand in there.
There were a couple moments where he sounded and
Not-
reminded me of Ron Perlman, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Ron Perlman would have done an okay job with Thanos." I'm really glad Josh Brolin did it though.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see either of those people's like features without picturing their entire body, and Josh Brolin's works better than Ron Perlman's.
Yeah.
Like just physique wise.
Yep.
So if it had been Ron Perlman or someone similarly like not as like gigantic,
Yeah.
that would have been like distracting for me.
I
So
agree.
I'm
Well,
glad-
I would assume he would he's CG anyway, so just make him buffer.
Yeah, but it's just like I can't help picturing the actor and
Mm-hmm.
being like if there's such a disparity between like the actor that I know is behind it and their actual
Yeah, that's
shape,
fair. Then you're like,
I'd
that's
been like,
weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's fair.
If you pick a big guy, yeah.
Thanos says a lot of things with bubbles. He
Yeah.
turns the Star-Lord's
Run
ray,
into
like the
they have a
beam
laser
into
into
bubbles.
Yeah.
He turns Gamora's
Knife
blade
into
into
bubbles.
bubbles.
I feel like
He's
that's
not that
like-
creative.
I assume it's just because it's insulting.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well, it's like the least dangerous thing it could possibly be.
Yeah. Well, Strange turns the magic back into butterflies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
right.
That was
That was
a great
awesome.
moment. Hey.
He's like, no.
We didn't even talk about Hulk.
No, we didn't talk about
And
Hulk.
being afraid.
He's just afraid of Thanos, so he's
Yeah.
like, I'm not
Yeah.
going back. No.
Yeah.
That's
It
a
was-
cool development for
Yeah,
that
and that was
character.
a really clever way to give Mark Ruffalo more screen time.
Yeah, and
Yes.
save a few shekels on CG.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because there was so little CG in this movie.
I'm just saying it was all CG. Like there were like at
Yeah.
least four or six completely computer generated characters.
Yeah.
The entire Black Order, Thanos, Groot, Rocket, Hulk,
Yeah.
the Red Skull for a few minutes,
It also like
the
deprived
Hulkbuster armor.
it deprived that team of a heavy hitter until Thor shows up.
Yes.
Yep.
Which makes Thor's arrival that much more impactful.
Yeah, that was
so,
great.
well done.
Not
Super
just
cool.
not just including the creator he makes. For
Right,
its impactfulness.
which is literally impactful. Yeah,
Or the impact that
Deeply
Hulkbuster armor
impactful.
makes when he trips and falls in the ground.
that was pretty funny.
And all the Wakandans turn to look
That
at him
was
like,
awesome. Yeah.
Jesus.
Why do we have this guy?
Yeah, what?
Why does he get the big suit?
How come Shuri doesn't make the giant Black Panther statue come alive and wreck things?
I was gonna say, where's Bast?
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the Black Panther movie.
I'm just
either,
saying
so-
that would have been awesome. Like, the Outriders are attacking Wakanda. Bast is like, oh no.
the Panther God
Yeah.
itself like,
Yeah.
just rolls out.
Yeah.
But then it would have eaten Thanos, and that wouldn't have worked.
Thanos wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Well,
Then he
later,
shows up
I guess.
later.
Yeah.
Like, why did that'd be like
He would have had to
that would be
defeat
ridiculous.
Bast.
That would be like getting rid of your Ghost Army right before you decided to storm Mordor, which no one would ever think to do. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys next time here on ComicPop with another conversation about comics and comics-related culture. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
Bye.
Roar! Roar!
Wait.
Oh.